Okay, so let's do a request. Why do so many Christians? This was just the question, so I don't need the whole. A lot of religions do that. We're not talking about everybody, we're just talking about this. Why do most Christians accuse entertainers of being in the Illuminati and worshiping the devil? Because here's my thing. Let's take Beyonce. Beyonce's a singer, for those who don't know. Because a lot of people watch my videos just because it's me, and they watch all of them. Thank you very much. But they don't know half the people I talk about. So Beyonce is a singer. She performed at the inauguration of Barack Obama, if you need reference. She performed at the halftime show twice, if you need more reference. But anyhow, they do that a lot to her, that she's in the Illuminati because she's rich and powerful. She has this influence. Now, here's my thing. I don't know how the same person who can say they believe in God can then look at Beyonce and say she worships the devil. Here's why I say that. If you believe in God, then you believe that God can all things. He can, period. If he can create the universe, he can elevate a Beyonce Knowles. If you believe in God, then you believe that pressed down, shaken together, and runneth over is real. Pressed down, as in I'm going to fit you to capacity. Shaken together means that there are no holes within your capacity. Everything is filled. Run it over is what you share. So you are completely fulfilled, and then you share the rest. Whatever in your dish, whatever runneth over is for other people. She does that. She has that. She is that. So why do you believe that God wouldn't bless her, but would bless you? Why do you believe that the only way she got to where she is a secret society? Not the hours of training and running on treadmills and high heels got her to where she is. Not the constant work and dedication towards her craft got her to where she is. It has to be a secret society. Why do you believe that God can bless everyone else except entertainers? Meanwhile, entertainers in the gospel and Christian areas, and even country music, because anyway, won't even go there. They have big houses and fancy cars and long numbers in their bank account. No one ever accuses them of being in the Illuminati. So why do the bright lights, flashy clothes people get the Illuminati? Meanwhile, the Bible Belt people don't. If you believe in God, then you believe that God can. For her too. So, why? Why do you believe that all of them, we're not just talking about her, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not telling you what to believe or not. I just want to know, myself, as well as the request that I got, why do so many Christians believe that so many entertainers worship the devil and are in the Illuminati? And I'm not playing this whole play their song backwards. It says no, we're not doing that. Because it sounds ridiculous. The world. That's part of the reason, is that they have the world's attention. They have the world at their fingertips. Like a Michael Jackson, like a Whitney Houston, like a Beyonce. Meanwhile, what we never do It's say like a Garth Brooks, like a Toby Keith, like a Reba McEntire, like a Billy Graham, like a Franklin Graham, like a T.D. Jakes. We don't ever say that. We just pick on the ones that are pop culture and call them the Illuminati because they have the world at their fingertips. That's why. The elevated person. You're on a stage higher than most. You're on a stage higher than they feel you should be. Therefore, you're in the Illuminati. Because the Illuminati sets you up to be the biggest star, and then they siphon your soul as you go along. Now, that's another thing. Why give your soul to the devil for fame and fortune when you can give your soul to God and still be blessed and have fame and fortune? Because mind you, one of the greatest singers, I feel, is Yolanda Adams. Yolanda Adams is a gospel singer. She sings church music, as they call it. So she has money. Not only does she have money, but she sings gospel music, but she will do other musics as well. If you don't know who she is, Google her name, put her on the YouTube. I actually just watched a YouTube video of her, Prince, Stevie Wonder, and India Arie doing a tribute for Shaka Khan. I watched her do a tribute for Toni Braxton. I watched her do a tribute for Anita Baker. I watched her do a tribute for Patti LaBelle. I watched her do a tribute for gospel singers as well. So she is that go-to person because they know she's going to give a great performance every time. And she is willing to engage the rest of the world instead of judging them. That way, she can penetrate the rest of the world with the gospel message. She said that out of her own mouth too. She said, when you see us in these public forums, like on a Wendy Williams show or somewhere where you wouldn't normally see gospel artists in the secular world, don't judge them because that's where they need to be. If you're supposed to go into all the world and preach the gospel, how can you do that when you don't go outside the walls of the church? So when you get pop culture people and they have the world at their fingertips, and when they are the elevated person, all you see is the shininess and the lights and the glitz and the glamour. You don't see the work they put behind it. Therefore, you feel as though they got skyrocketed by the Illuminati and the secret society. Separation. Betrayal. That's what you feel. That's at the base. Ace of Wands. The new ideas, the action, sometimes the force, because they seem to sort of penetrate everything. The King of Pentacles. There's this is kind of how it seems to take a life on, like Scientology. There's a man at the top with all the power, and he just sort of. And I'm not saying secret societies don't exist. What I'm saying is, why do they always have to be the person who benefits from it instead of just hard work? Ten of Cups. That's the force. That's around the force. You feel as though they penetrate your home, they penetrate your life. They have all this secret magic that they're doing to your children and all these other little things like that, and everything's so violent and everything's so nasty and everything's so this, and I get it, fine. In the Fear's the Hermit. Interesting that separation and isolation, this is in your fear, this is at your base. You feel cut off and you fear being isolated. Why do you feel as though most entertainers are in the Illuminati, and then you have separation at your base? This is something you stand upon. This is your starting point. Like, let's get away from that. But then you feel isolated, and you fear being isolated. You fear as though, just like Yolanda was saying, we can't get outside the four walls of the church because the moment we do, you judge us. Why don't you see Toby Keith at the BET Awards? Why was it such a big deal when Beyonce went to the Country Music Awards? You can't break outside of your norms because the world won't let you. You'll let some people, when it turns out, once you investigate, that, oh, this is actually quite all right. That's why Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart can have a cooking show together or whatever they were doing. And the world looks at it with delight. In the environment is the fighting. So we are constantly at odds with what you believe and what I believe. Because agree to disagree is too hard for us to do. The word of warning is the winning at all cost. So there's your warning right there around your fighting. If all you can do is throw mud at people with your religion, what you're going to do is drive a wedge between everyone and the Creator. Because all we're going to see is the crazy Christian person standing up on a table telling us all how awful we are. Meanwhile, you are now the representative of God to some people who don't know Him at all. You are what God looks like to some people. So when Yolanda Adams wants to go outside the four walls of the church and embrace the Wendy Williams audience and embrace the audience at Good Morning America and Mary and all these people, when they want to go, Mary's also singers, gospel singers. For those who want to go outside the four walls of the church and embrace the community, and then you judge them and don't let them because the community is full of the Illuminati and the devil worshippers, then what you do is you banish the name of God in all the places where He could exist. And then the knight in shining armor card. It's the flash. It's the glitz. It's the glamour. It's the world stage. It just seems, because perception is reality, it just seems as though this is not godly. Because even Christians call the outside world the world. Don't let the world do this and don't let the world do that. They're worldly. That's what's happening here. They're just too worldly. That's why. It's just too much glitz and glamour. It's just too much stuff. It's stuff they don't like. Therefore, it must be wrong. To me, that's what the Bible is full of. When it comes to sin, there are some things that make sense. As in, don't do unnecessary harm to other people. Don't steal, don't kill, don't destroy, all that. That's fine. That's fine. Because that's unnecessary harm to other people. Don't be covetous. That's fine because that's unnecessary harm to you being jealous. But don't sleep in the same bed with your wife when she's on her cycle. It's not a sin, but it is in the Bible. Don't wear clothes of mixed linen is a sin in the Bible, but it's not, it shouldn't be, because it doesn't cause harm to anyone else. These are the kinds of things I'm talking about. Sometimes what you don't like, you call the world. You just make it up as you go along. Beyonce must be in the Illuminati because she's not a church singer. She doesn't sing church music, even though she did have a movie called, what was it, Kingdom Come, where she did have some songs that were churchy songs. And got no credit for that. Meanwhile, there was a pastor, a priest, a rabbi, a pretty much everything in a religious organization that has raped and molested or murdered or something of the some sort and paid absolutely no penance for it whatsoever. So when you go and you fix your mouth to say that somebody is in the Illuminati simply because they don't like it, point to the church first.